Do I look like an intro?
Do I look like I'm immune?
Alright, I'll take it, I guess.
It needs to be me or Slur because you've got like 0 energy today.
Nah, I could fake it for a second. Come on.
Okay, all right. If you can fake it, Wyatt. That means you got to let him know when you when you're.
Oh, we've been recording for like 25 seconds,
God
actually.
Damn it! You.
Oh, so that was the intro.
You are the worst ever.
Another classic Y.A.R.P way to begin.
Yourself now.
Alrighty
Swear to
then,
me that we're
episode over.
recording.
Swear to me.
So, greetings and salutations, and welcome to the happy ending of The Last of Us Season 1 on HBO, I guess Max. We are your hosts. Fucking clicker number 1.
Hi.
Hello.
Oh, I thought you were actually gonna do like a clicker number 2.
No.
No, you were gonna come up with your own name, so fuck it. That's whatever. I'm going back to bed. Don't talk about this fucking stupid show. And how it's absolutely fucking so much worse than the game. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, do you still want me to do that, like, that comparison breakdown for later? Like, where we take the game scenes?
Like, even, like, the fucking, like, cool moments of, like, I trust him. No, it's like, no, I believe him. And then you'll just come looking for her. It's like, those are so, like, fucking way,
I'll put
way worse.
Yeah, I'll put something together. There was, like, a few moments where, like, they actually kind of, like, had it, but then...
I don't know. It felt like... maybe it's because I'm, like, dying, and so I'm, like, cynical like Ninja, but, like, everything, like, up until the pun book in this episode... so, yeah, we just watched the last 2 episodes of Last of Us to round out the entire season. And I want to start with the last one just because it's fresh on my mind, but there's that moment where he's talking about Sarah, and it doesn't feel like they're really having a conversation. It just feels like a couple of people like doing like a stage play, but not a very
that or Pedro's talking about like he's talking about like his IRL daughter to Bella Ramsey. That's how awkward it feels.
It is what it is. Like it's not that convincing, and it's not great, and it felt like it could have been.
Oh yeah, like I was with Sarah. I was watching a few of the game cutscenes, and yeah, I'm sorry, Bella Ramsey just does not convey the same shit as Ashley Johnson did.
And it's weird because like, I feel like it's not failed by the script, which is usually the other way around, whereas the actors are giving like 1,000,000% and the script is just garbage. But like, I feel like the dialogue, if you just look at it like on a book or whatever, like especially with the little back and forth about the like, oh, they bomb all the cities but they don't hit the buildings that need to be decommissioned or whatever, like, you know what I mean? That's a good line. And like everything like leading up to that, I feel like is really well done. Like having Ellie, like, who's always like rapid fire, not shutting the fuck up, having her being really quiet the entire episode, it's like a really interesting choice. But like, I don't know, somebody else talk.
So let's do we want to just keep talking about the last episode, or do we want to drag it all the way back to the Cannibal Winter?
Is that what
I mean, it doesn't really matter. Either way, I think the biggest issue is like the main reason that you would take a story from one medium and put it into another is to get people who might not be familiar with that medium to experience your story. Okay, cool. Nothing wrong with that. Except for the fact that everything that this show does, it does worse than the game. Like, there's nothing about this show that's better than the game. So it's unfortunate that people who are experiencing this story, and it is a good story, but the people that are experiencing this for the very first time are getting a lesser version. That's unfortunate. That sucks.
Yeah. And when you say worse, it does make it sound like it's like 100% worse. Like the scenes are like fine.
I
compared
have
to like what they
been.
could be is like that's what's
Well,
insulting.
I
therein lies the
guess.
problem of comparison because this show, at its very best, when they are absolutely nailing it, comes up to being on par with the game. And then all of the parts that don't quite hit that high, they're actually falling short of the game. That's
Yeah,
why having that point of comparison is not good for the show's health.
no.
Right. Oh, well,
Like, it's
I
almost
was
impossible to
wondering,
do
like,
because it's just a one for one recreation. Like,
right.
there are scenes that are almost exactly the same, even like the blocking and the way the position, like you know what I mean, like the way characters are standing and the way characters are talking, the way they look at each other. It's almost exactly the same as in the game.
Yeah, and I've been thinking about this because yeah, when we say worse, it's almost like we're like absolutely just hounding on the show when it's like I don't know where like if when the scenes are almost done one for one, like is it almost like a step down or is it like two?
Well, they are and they aren't though, because even the scenes that are done one for one have a worse acting performance.
yeah, that's why I was like, because I I don't know if I have it in me to say this show is outright bad. However,
No,
I
but
just
that's not my argument. My
no, yeah, I
argument
know
is
that's
that
not
it's
your
worse than the game, and so even if it was worse by only a little bit, it still doesn't justify its
oh yeah, no,
existence.
yeah, I completely agree with you. I just wanted to clarify this that we're not necessarily just we're not ripping this show to absolute shreds in the sense that we think it's just an awful piece of shit. It's just we've seen the better thing. I at least that's kind of what I've been feeling like this entire time we've been watching the show.
Yeah, it's just subpar in every way. Everything that the show tries to do was done better in the game.
And and it's weird how it just kind of the more we were watching this because we talked a little bit with Tanner who watched this before us and he was just saying yeah it was mid and I kind of can't help but agree.
Mm.
Yeah,
Like
I mean, I definitely get where he's coming from.
it didn't wow me in any way, and like the only things that were really good were the music and shit like that. But like
That's just the
the
music from
music,
the game.
the music is just from the game. I don't even know if they re-recorded it because it sounds almost exactly the same.
They must have recorded like some new tracks but we were
They might have, but I'd be really curious to see if like that actually holds up, if that's actually true.
that's fair.
Like later down the road, if they actually look at it.
um in terms of I'm trying to think of like what was there a scene that anyone like rather enjoyed? I kind of liked the bit with the giraffe.
Giraffe was fine, but like, so this is where we talk. Remember when River, our awesome thumbnail creator and supporter of the show, she said that not the Suicide Squad, but she said Suicide Squad had a really good soundtrack, and I said that's not fair because that's not the merits of that movie.
Yeah, it's
So
just
like,
basically a
so
mixtape.
yeah, it's just a mixtape, and like, yeah, those songs are amazing, but it's not because the Suicide Squad is amazing. It's because the fucking songs were. So when it's like, oh, the scene with the giraffe, it's like, yeah, that scene's amazing, but like, I don't know if that
It's,
holds up because that's a
it's
scene
just the
just from the
scene from the
game.
game. Yeah,
Yeah.
we keep
I
running into
think
this
the question
problem.
that will kind of sort out some of this entanglement is just if you had never played the game and you just saw this, is the story you're receiving good? Are these scenes well done? Will they pay off? Are the emotional beats actually there? And like I said earlier, with like the point of comparison, at its highest highs, it's just the game. And I think it does that enough that even if you'd never played the game, you'd still find this entertaining. You'd
Yeah.
still find it pretty good.
That's I guess like the problem I really have with the show is it's not actually terrible. Like it's not the worst fucking pieces of shit I've ever seen in my life. It's actually like surprisingly good. But like it's just impossible for me to divorce myself from the actual game. And to be fair, a lot of people haven't played the games and a lot of people are really enjoying the show. So, you know, it's good in that regard. As a video game adaptation, even though it's a poor adaptation, it's still probably way better than any other adaptation out there.
Oh, it's still in the upper echelon of video game
I
adaptations,
think
especially to live action. Holy shit.
I
Yes,
think
especially the live action.
what's weird though is as you bring that up, like not that many people have played the game. Like Sarah has kind of done the thing that we were supposed to do this anyway. She basically after watching the finale of the show started watching the cutscenes of the game, and I finally asked her like I was like because when we got to the argument in the house where the "you're not my daughter" that kind of stuff. Uh, I was sitting there. I was like, "Hey, do you kind of see what we're talking about? Where it just feels like they're lacking some energy, almost in a way." And she agreed. So she like even people who've never played the game, once they see the show, and then like if they ever do see the game, they're gonna kind of be disappointed on how the show just didn't do a good enough job.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's not the worst retelling of a story that's ever existed, but it is still disappointing when you've got that experience in your mind. You know, it's and
Yeah,
as
I
much
think
as
the
I hate
heart of
it,
it is
yeah, the heart of
oh,
it is
sorry, go
still
ahead.
mostly there. There are a few subtle changes that I can feel like Druckmann's influence on, where it's like it's a little bit more like the first one was very gray. You know, it left a lot of the morality and the questions up to the player, kind of like old Star Trek. They would present you the issue and let you decide. Druckmann is more of the more modern camp where it's like, we're going to tell you what to think, we're going to preach at you. And this felt more like that than the game did.
yeah,
Yeah,
Well, I
it's
think a lot of that also comes down to the fact that when you are the player character, that bias towards the protagonist is a lot stronger in games than movies.
because you're actually that
For
person.
the yeah, because it's you. You know, this guy can't be a reprehensible asshole. He's me, and I'm great. Fuck this game.
Yeah.
It wouldn't translate as well. But
Mm.
in terms of like just adaptation, I think the thing that's kind of hollowed it out for us is that it doesn't add anything.
Yeah.
Like there are certain things it will take away because they don't hit quite as hard, or we feel the versions of the characters aren't quite as engaging or stuff like that. But very rarely are you getting anything in the show that the game didn't give you.
Yeah.
Whereas a lot of time when we talk about adaptation, it's usually from like page to screen, where now there's a soundtrack and there might be some like additional scenes that do like just visual world building and shit. It's like there's usually a bit of extra spice in there rather than only taking L's when things don't work quite as well as they did in the game.
Taking Ellie's.
Yeah.
I do want to say, going back to the cannibal episode, it is weird that that guy wasn't played by um, fuck, Troy Baker, because like the guy they got was kind of like there's some interesting casting choices for the quote unquote villains of the show, and like, did anyone find David intimidating?
in
Not
the
No.
show or
intimidating, but
in
I didn't
the
think he was
or
that kind of villain. It's like I
Yeah,
actually
but like
it was a
even like
decent way of setting up like this the classic fucking psycho serial killer thing where he seems normal and affable and like he has some level of charisma and people trust him, people like being around him. But you just like peel layer after layer away and he's a fucking animal inside.
yeah,
Like I think they did a decent job of that.
decent, but like there's an element I feel like is removed with so in the game you have to basically do a whole like survival like, that the 2 hours that like homeboy is like gone is a very eventful time for both Ellie and David.
exactly.
But it requires them to actually like come together and work together and trust each other in a really tense situation, and you find that David is um just as capable as Joel. So you get like a bit of like comfort when playing with him. And I like I said, I get it, it's a video game thing, but this is why I believe that the media is actually better is because you the player actually get to see David firsthand, save your life, help you out, like call out shit like that. I mean, you get like that sense of trust that you don't get in the show because all they do is just sit there.
And yeah, and then that's
They
what makes the
literally do.
twist. That's what
They
makes the
literally do
twist all the
nothing.
better.
Because the thing is, it's like he's not supposed to be intimidating. Yeah, he's supposed to be like charming and like approachable because that's how he was in the game. He's a very like chill dude. He's really nice and all that shit. Like this guy just felt like a weasel from like second one. And like I said, it was an odd choice. And obviously, I know that combat's hard in the show, but I feel like there needs to be like something there to have Ellie grow to trust him.
Yeah,
It would have
that's-
helped.
It would have helped a lot.
Plus, if I remember correctly, like, yeah, Dave, like then once Ellie is captured, there was no. I'm trying to remember how much of that psychological games he played while she was in prison. Because if I remember correctly,
He doesn't really. Actually,
yeah, he's kind
pretty
of just
fucking
like, we
straightforward.
eat people. We are we gonna have to eat you?
Hmm. And it's like you also get that sense of why he would actually trust Ellie because of the fact that he's also seen that she's really capable in a fight and she's only like fucking 15 years old.
Right.
So like you get that on the flip side of the mechanics as well because there is a moment where like you get separated and David is almost shocked that you survived. Uh and yeah, you just don't get that. She's like, oh, I want to make babies with you. It's like,
That was
what the dude?
that was kind of like the one moment where I actually was like, oh, I kind of am, like, for a split second I felt the same way I felt when I was playing the game as Bella Ramsey's Ellie is just hacking him to bits with the cleaver.
Oh, and that difference changed.
That felt weird. That felt
Yeah.
very weird because
So you know what I'm talking about, right?
yeah. So what happens for those who haven't played the game yet? You're listening to this. She's hacking instead of a cleaver, it's a machete. But as soon as he
matter.
gets, yeah, that's not the point. But as soon as Ellie's hacking at him with his own weapon, Joel like grabs her halfway through, and that's when we get the big like comforting as then they escape the burning building.
Yeah.
So to then,
But it's the idea of Joel saving her from going like
yes,
completely batshit crazy. You know
exactly.
what I mean? Because like she is totally justified to just
Oh yeah,
rip that
no,
guy's head
that
off.
yeah, that's not in question at all.
But it's like the fact that like Joel is like there to kind of like stop her and be like, hey, it's okay, you did it, you won. But in this, like she gets the kill, she stops herself, she walks out, and then Joel shows up. And it's
Yeah,
like, oh,
it's a little weird.
You can't have a man saving a woman in
I
current
know.
year. Okay, you just can't do it.
Especially
I
especially when
really,
she's emotional. You
I
can't do
really hope that that's actually like I hope you're just memeing and like not behind the scenes like that's something like Druckmann
Oh,
said
I
like
guarantee you that is exactly why they made the change.
Yeah, it's
yeah.
because she did it by herself. That's what I'm saying. It's like she doesn't really need Joel. So it's funny because like even though the line is like a 1-to-1 perfect, and it's like, how did you get here by yourselves? And it's like, oh, it was all her, and it's like, oh, she's a hero. You know what I mean? It's like
Yeah,
it's
it feels weird.
it's like it feels like strange, and it's like I mentioned, it's like, oh hey, video game Joel, you showed up, and it's like I know the rampages like in the video game are so. And also the fact that it was only like fucking 3 cannibals. Where did the rest of that village go?
That was weird. Yeah.
Did I like because I know I'm like tired and like dying and like I can't think like see straight. But where the fuck did that village go?
No,
The
they went to
power of
the
off-screen.
yeah, they went to the off-screen dimension and
Stupid. It's so
they went to
dumb.
go join Harvey Dent.
But the idea is that they were all like grown up cannibals, like they all like were scary people, and like I love the idea to save Ellie because you don't really get like that many empowering moments as Joel, but there are two. There's one at the very end, and then there's one after you interrogate the two guys. You're just tearing through people, and it's just the fuck. Slur, help me.
No, I know what
Dude,
I know what you're talking about.
Just
I can't read your mind, dude. You have to find the word
Just
yourself.
It's
juxtaposed, just the fucking I don't know.
Juxtaposed.
Juxtaposed. Thank you. It's juxtaposed where you have to play as Ellie in the exact same map when you don't have a weapon. You can't engage these people. So as Ellie, you're vulnerable and scared and doing this, but as Daddy Joel, you're just tearing ass through to get to Ellie. And like
Yeah.
you're literally going through the entire village of these people.
It's what makes the David boss fight, like, it's one of the only, like, kind of boss fights in the entire game. And it's a sneaking section. It's terrifying. He sees you, you're dead.
Yeah. There's a bunch of glass on the ground, which is what was referenced in like the 3rd episode or whatever. But there's a bunch of glass on the ground as if you step over it, he knows exactly where you are and he comes to get you. It's supposed to imply that he's also using listening mode. We talked about the deaf thing, but like, do you guys consider listening mode a core mechanic of the game?
For
Not
gameplay,
really. I mean,
but it's not an in-universe thing. I always thought, like, in-universe,
it's
they're
so
just paying
fucking
attention.
optional though. Like you don't have to use it.
You don't have to, but I don't know. I used it like
I
a
used
lot,
it practically all the time.
So
I'm sorry, you're weak. I don't know what to tell you.
What do you mean? You play Batman games with all detective vision on like a good chunk of the time. Like,
no, you don't. You turn it up. But no, I'm scared. Scary game, scary.
But
But
you have to be your own detective mode or you're cringe.
yeah. Also,
where did you come from, Bullet?
Where did Joel's health problems go?
Oh, they gave him a shot of penicillin, so he's Gucci now.
Two shots of penicillin.
2 shots of where the fuck does this go? Like, so like I'm not a doctor, obviously. I'm not smart, but I don't feel like that's accurate. What you're supposed to do with that?
I mean, penicillin will help clear up an infection, and that was like one of the major health things that he had going on.
Yeah,
There's also the very severe wound that was in his abdomen, but we don't worry about that. The penicillin took care of it.
Yeah,
Also,
the pacing of the show is really terrible too, because like in the game, when you first wake up, you're really slow, but like after like a while, and like it's implied that he's interrogating these dudes for a good amount of time, and that's when he like slowly like starts to heal back up and like get back to speed.
Oh, not in the show. In the show,
On the
that
show,
one guy folded like origami. Holy shit! Not that I completely blame him. Like Joel put the fucking fear of God in the man, but still.
Right? Ironically.
Oh yeah, that was one of the that was another moment I really liked. I liked a couple. The moments that I liked the most were from the second to last episode, because I liked the interrogation scene. It's
Yeah,
one of the
but
only
once again,
moments he acts like fucking Joel.
once again, it just doesn't feel as good as the thing.
Oh yeah, it doesn't.
And like the removal of the rampage and the removal of the like him like saving Ellie, it kind of takes like a lot of like what made that moment in the game really good.
Well, narratively, it's also really satisfying that that's their reunion. Like him fighting that goddamn hard to reunite with her because she saved his life. Like that's part of what helps repair their relationship.
Yeah.
Like these are moments that you can't just cut from the script and it's like, oh, it's fine, it's whatever.
Yeah.
Like, no, you needed that. That mattered.
I do appreciate the subtle change of it being an ear that was just like left as opposed to like a bucket of like arms.
Oh yeah, you're right. Yeah, I'll admit
Like,
that's a bit better.
that was a better change. I'll give him that. And like it makes sense why she wouldn't notice it immediately, because like when she was fucking with the cage and then she like looked over and like was shocked, and I was like, well, yeah, it's a bucket of arms. How the fuck did you miss it? And it's like, oh, it's an ear. It's like, okay, this is a bit of a better change. You get that. I give you a little gold star, Neil. Here you go. Here, put that on there.
You were awarded 1 bucket of arms out of 10.
I like to imagine you'd put the gold star like on his forehead, but you slapped it on there like.
No, I put it slowly, but I put it in his eye. I'm like, here you go.
Hey, good buddy.
You did a good job.
Excuse me.
It might not even been his call. Let's actually chill. Let's back up. It might not have been his like decision.
Might have
Like,
been the director.
He'd be like, yeah, I want like a head staring back at Ellie, and the director was like, okay.
I want
right.
David to just have a head on.
It's like,
a
no, I want the director to be like, okay, dude, I let you have the mushroom kiss, but chill.
No, and then I want
Calm
David David to have a staff and a head on it, and then he just turns it around and makes out with it for a minute. Neil, go away, please. Get out of my office.
He makes out with the zebra.
When the doctor is like, doctor, we need you in operation, he's just mid making out with the zebra. Neil, please get out of my office.
No, yeah, like it's a pretty okay show. Like, I'll give you that. Like, it's there's just a couple of decisions that are just weird, but that's just because of personal bias that I have towards the game.
Yeah, and I
Yeah,
think
if you suffer from some kind of horrific finger bones disease and can't play games, and also you hate watching Let's Players because you're normal and based, then yeah, the show can do for you.
Fuck you.
what? I don't understand this.
How dare you? How dare you? Hang on, I'm gonna change my picture.
Just changing it to Daniel Radcliffe. How
No,
dare you?
I was gonna change it to Greta Thunberg. But yeah, no. Overall thought. Are we gonna do a thing? The overall thoughts, or
I kind of want to do one along with that scene comparison thing, but if you guys want to do like a big
I mean,
We've kind of taken this opportunity to sum up our feelings about the show overall. I don't know
yeah.
that we need to get a whole extra episode out of us saying probably the same thing.
I mean, the comparison, might be something different or worth talking about, but I feel like we're kind of expressing our overall.
yeah. Yeah, I agree with Slur. Just play the game. Just
the overall message of the show is don't talk about puns because bad things happen to you.
we
Yeah, the
laughed
cringe
our
police will
asses
fuck
off.
you up. Holy shit.
You'll either get attacked by clickers or fucking jumped by raiders or just beaten down by the army. Just don't pun.
Like
Yeah,
bad.
don't pun.
like and the
They will
fact
come for you.
I think it's like if
just the fact that like you can see them in the background and they're like, we gotta get these people. Like, it's so fucking
That one
funny.
dude just came into frame real intense, like it caught us off guard.
And he didn't
But
like
yeah,
it. So, like,
and
the cringe police are not a NATO recognized organization. They do not follow the Geneva Code. They will fuck your shit.
and it's
yeah,
like,
because
you don't
they were
really
just
throw,
like they threw
Yeah,
fucking flashbang.
well, it's
right
like you don't really throw grenades like a fucking baseball. You kind of like sling it or like you kind of like an over.
Yeah, he yeeted that bitch.
But he was like Tom Brady, go for it. Stop
fucking
the
laced it.
puns.
Fuck that little girl.
Stop! This
That
is
little
comedy.
girl and that old man are walking calmly, talking about jokes. We have to kill them.
Yeah, that's the little patrol we're on, I guess.
They just
We're on a
they
cringe
just
patrol.
you know the flashbang just has written on the side of it comedy police.
And like, let's do the comparison because like at the comparison, I don't know which one's worse to be honest. Because
so
like
I think
Because like in the because in the game she drowned. Like there was a really God, dude, that
there was a
scene would've
flood.
been- it's not just a flood. It's like they're trying to cross a bus and the bus collapses, and so Ellie jumps in to fucking save Joel. Like even though she can't fucking swim, it's a really great God. Oh my God, it's a really great scene that would have been really good to put into the show, and it's not fucking there.
Yeah, it just ends weird because Joel's clearly
That would have
doing
made
CPR
Ellie
in a-
look weak. She's saving a man.
She's
Cringe.
saving a man. How dare she save her father? But like, and then in the game, like she's underwater for a good like minute. So Joel has to like basically drag her up, and then he starts giving her CPR, and a guy goes, "Put your hands up, put your hands up," and he's not complying. So he's like, "No, she's gonna do that," and he's like confused. So yeah, he hits him, which is kind of stupid to be honest in the game.
Yeah, that's why we
But-
made that joke like a few episodes ago that everybody just keeps walking up to
He
Joe
just
and goes,
keeps
"Hey!"
hitting him in
And
the
then
head.
yeah, he's gonna come out of this. We were like, he's gonna come out of this season with like 17 concussions.
But it's the fact that they're walking calmly. And they're literally talking loud enough to be heard like pun jokes from like a while. You know what I mean? And they are the guys because like even in the game they're really they're trying to be calm and trying to collect the situation. Like you know what I mean? They're not like running up on Joel. But like in the fucking show, you can see them in the background. You see like 3 of them going like just fucking hauling ass towards these people as if it's like finally something to kill, like kind of deal. And it's weird, dude. It's
No, again,
so
they're
strange.
they're like mole rats. They just meerkats. I meant they just perked up, heard a fucking pun, and their eyes glowed, and they were just like, "Take care of that shit."
Yeah,
And
he's
then-
like, he throws the fucking thing. He goes, the moon rock should have been because they're out of this world, and he throws the fucking flashbang.
That
And
is
then
exactly the answer I thought of for that one too.
Same. It's weird. I was like, fucking meteors. What?
and then the
Because they're
second
meteor, but the moon isn't a meteor. What the fuck?
the second his superior
Neil-
officer hears him making the pun, he just pulls his pistol out and shoots him.
Black Science Man is somewhere right now, like coughing because they said meteor. I legit forgot his name. What's his name?
Neil deGrasse Tyson.
Thank you. Listen, I've had a busy weekend.
Oh,
Okay.
you mean the actual comedy police?
BB-8 would slide across the divot because he's a smooth ball. Anyway,
It's a movie.
where's what else? What else? What else? I feel like oh man.
They
feel
did make a slight correction with the give him his pack, because
yeah.
if you remember in the game they were like, oh yeah, just fucking leave him. It's like, oh, so you're skimping out on the deal, you're gonna kill his like second daughter, and you're not even gonna give him his shit. You're basically killing him.
Yeah.
The Fireflies for the last bit of the game become cartoonishly evil.
Yeah,
So
because it becomes really easy to just gun them down.
Oh yeah, it's to facilitate. Yeah, exactly, making it easier to gun them down. But then it's what makes it even more jarring. Where in the second game, they're like, "What Joel did was the wrong decision." It's just like, you're leaving a
wrong
tiny
from
bit
other
out.
people's perspective, and that's fine.
Mhm.
It's just whenever you write something like that, you have to bear in mind the audience is on his side, even if they acknowledge that what he did was brutal and very scary.
Mhm.
Yeah,
And that's the thing that Druckmann didn't do. He thought that he could just rewrite how people felt about a thing after the fact, and that's not how that works.
and then
Exactly.
also when it was time for Joel and Ellie to have that conversation, Joel just doesn't act. He doesn't. He just like has his head down like a defeated
Oh, yeah.
cat, and it's just like, I'm sorry, the Joel I know would actually have something to fucking say right now.
Yeah.
We still have time for that one guy from the Incredibles movie to be basically the fucking character arc for Ellie. You didn't save my life, you ruined my death. Only this time it's not a joke. It's actually her fucking character motivation.
Mhm.
Maybe it won't get a second season and we won't have to watch that shit.
Yeah, maybe. Who knows?
No, yeah. See, this
Except
is
the
one...
show is actually doing pretty decently, and people seem to be liking it, so it's actually likely going to get the sequel.
But we're
The show's doing really well.
But I don't want
Now,
to watch
this
that.
isn't it surprise us in that it actually isn't a fucking flaming pile of dog shit. You know, there's a thing or two it does right. So, the second season, we have to at least allow the possibility that it will surprise us too. That they'll actually make a lot of changes in the writing, and they'll be good changes.
So
One can hope.
yeah, one can hope, but I think Neil outright said like, no, I'm very proud of like what I did with the writing of the second game, so we're not going to change a thing. I'm hoping this director or the writers of the show will have a fucking spine and be like, no, we need to actually, if you're gonna make Abby a sympathetic character, we need to have her not just immediately torture Joel.
Yeah, well, we'll see. But for now, this show's okay. Could have been better, but what we got wasn't like the worst thing in the world.
Yeah. I'd give it probably like a 6.
Give it like a 10 out of 10. Super brave.
I think I'm at about a 5 overall, but well, 5 or 6.
Yeah, or what about you, Ninja?
Yeah.
Great talk.
Ninja, I miss you. Where'd you go? I miss
He's probably taking care of like one of his dogs.
He's
or
probably
cats.
taking care of one of his Ellies. It's fine. This is what we just call kids as Ellies now.
You could also use them as a unit of measurement.
Oh,
for people who ready for that conversation.
What do you think of that weird hint that because the mom was bit right at the moment of birth, that was what made Ellie immune? They're kind of like
It's a better justification than no justification whatsoever. I don't know, Slur. What do you think?
I think I'm fine with no justification, to be honest.
I would actually be more fine with no justification.
Okay.
When you add an explanation like this, you open it up to scrutiny. Whereas if it's just
No,
an
that's fair.
oddity, you can actually treat it and work around it as an oddity because that's how it's set up. That's how we know it for most of the show. It's just like, huh. I mean, yeah, it sounds like it's something that theoretically is possible that somebody could be immune after being a whole generation born into the world where the disease exists. Sure. But once you start over explaining it, and I think that's what that is,
Yeah,
it's not
'cause-
that it's wrong or completely nonsensical on its own. It's like it's in universe. Its logic only needs to be consistent with itself,
Right.
not the real world. So it's just that it's an explanation when none was necessary rather than it being a bad explanation.
also, actually, I feel like it actually does contradict shit because if the cordyceps are all like these insane, sentient, like super hive mind mushroom like colony, then why is it attacking Ellie?
Why doesn't the one that tried to kill Ellie's mom try to just give her why doesn't slowly
No,
walk in and try to give her a kiss?
no, you're missing the point. Like the thing is, like the reason why that one kissed the Tess is because it already sensed that she was infected. So it basically was trying not to be hostile towards her. So why would like any of the other things be hostile towards Ellie?
No, yeah, they shouldn't.
Like it's actually like now that I'm thinking about it a little bit more than not, like the explanation actually doesn't make any fucking sense because like by that standard, that means that none of the cordyceps would actually try to infect Ellie when she was in fact bitten uh, after Tess was bitten.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, maybe no justification is better than than a really shoddy one. Ellie just has David's face for a second. She's just like, I'm built different.
Ellie, no more cordyceps.
Okay, fine. Okay, fine.
Puts
Cut
more
to
cordyceps.
Dawn of War cutscene of the first Dreadnought appearing.
Did anyone else get like zombie Jesus vibes from the birth scene?
Yes, I did.
Yeah, oh my god.
Are we just gonna
We didn't
oh,
even
yeah, let's
talk about the
yeah, we
birth
didn't yeah, we
scene.
didn't talk about how a baby just plops right out of her like
So yeah, like I don't understand what all these fucking women are bitching about. It feels like popping out a baby is just as easy as getting punched in the stomach. Like what the fuck is wrong with you?
Well,
yeah, it's
no,
the
the
added
zombie sat in her, just squeezed it out like toothpaste.
oh yeah, it was the added pressure. Just
And like the
right
zombie's
out.
like trying to kill her. It's like wait a second, I gotta clean this baby off real quick because it's covered in viscera. Okay, now let's get back to the thing.
No, yeah, for a second the zombie regains clarity. It's like, ew, placenta.
Yeah, right, and it cleans it off because like that baby is pristine.
Pardon me, madam. You seem to have given birth while I am trying to maul you.
Yeah.
You
Oh,
mind
oops,
cleaning
man.
that up?
Oops, man. I'm sorry. I bit you. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to do that.
I'll go away now.
Okay, I'm way over here. Yeah.
Cover her ears. Doesn't cover ears.
I can't believe Ellie gave birth to Ellie. It's crazy.
Yeah, I was gonna say that was Ashley Johnson, Ellie's voice actor.
Shout outs to
And the
her.
fact she's just making pain sounds and just like she's just
the
going fuck.
second
I am.
The second I heard her make a noise, I was like, "Oh, they really got Ellie to be Ellie, Ellie's mom," and I was like, "Damn it!"
And apparently, if what I just looked up was true, this is supposedly her last role. Like she's just done now.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Because like in her like 30 seconds, she was a better actress than fucking Bella Ramsey was in the entire show.
Yeah, I was thinking about that.
Like,
I was like,
fuck.
I mean, I kept thinking like, how could we just change the story, make Joel a bit older? I guess even more so.
Make him a bit more Troy Baker.
And we had Troy Baker actually like in the show. He was like David's little lapdog guy, and it's just like, oh hey Troy.
I still think he's got a goofy face. Like his face doesn't fit his voice, but he's I don't he should
He's
have
got
been,
a face for radio.
He's got a face for radio. He's got a face for D&D. So Ninja, are you back?
Yeah, I've been here.
What's your verdict? 1 out of 10 to the show.
I feel like I'm floating somewhere around like the 6 or 7 territory. I mean, it's definitely better than most shows out there. As many different issues as I have with the show, I still think it's probably like the best video game adaptation ever. It just frustrates me because like all of the changes that they made were changes for the worse that made the story worse. And the fact that this is a story and characters that I care about a lot, it really sucks. Like I really want to put it lower on the scale, but I am trying my damnedest to be fair to the show. I can just see the writing on the wall. I can see the Druckmann like slipping in, how he's kind of setting this up to be more in line with the second game, and we all know the second game is shit.
Yeah, and
It is
So I
hard to be optimistic in
So
spite of yeah.
so here's the real question: will season 2 be better than part 2?
it's gonna be the exact same. They're both gonna be shit.
no, yeah, he's gonna see the reason he made so many changes to this was because he did not have complete creative control over the first game. But in the second game, that was all his baby. So
Yeah,
it's going to basically be almost shot for shot.
and if
I
this
doubt he's going to
is
change anything.
and if this is true, the change of with Ellie's mom, that's also from Druckmann. If what I'm looking at is real.
What? How
I
babies are
saw
born?
one of those like teaser article things. Supposedly Abby made a cameo in the last episode, but I didn't catch it.
Hopefully as a dead person.
Oh, I was watching like a fucking hawk. I did not see any buff bitches in that.
Fucking hold on. Last of Us TV show.
But with that though, I feel
Abby.
like we're just gonna say that the season 2 is gonna be worse than part 2. So be ready for that.
Oh, I think anybody that actually watched season 1 and liked it, flaws and all, whatever, they're gonna see season 2 and they're gonna get the same slap in the face that a lot of the
This
players
is
got.
Yeah, this is gonna be interesting because like if it's on the same like let's say like it's on the same scale as 1 and 2, you know what I mean? How Last of Us 1 was like this like fucking cultural icon, and then Last of Us 2 was this slap in the face of that cultural icon. I wonder if season 2 will do the same thing but for normies.
Probably. It
We'll
wouldn't
see.
be the first time HBO has disappointed its fan base.
Oh.
Oh, if this is true, this is stupid. Hold on, copy.
She's a nurse. Shut up.
Paste. There's people saying that she was that nurse.
No. No.
He's like, he shot my daddy. I'm gonna get buff and kill him later.
uh,
Super buff.
Why wouldn't you try to kill him when he turned around? Whatever.
No, that's some massive copium.
Yeah, that's terrible. That's like whoever said that, you're dumb, and you should probably go kiss a freight
That's some
train.
clickbait bullshit.
Hold on.
Kiss a freight train.
Here's another one. Did this person get shot? I don't remember.
God damn it.
It was basically the person that ran
Okay,
away.
that's just fucking reaching.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
like
they're both fucking dude shaped. Like this is not a fucking
I'm pretty sure,
conclusive theory craft.
and I'm pretty sure that person did get shot. So
yeah, I'm
what the
pretty sure
fuck
that
ever.
person got shot. Yeah, that's stupid. It would be so fucking funny if
I
she
feel
was
like
one of the nurses.
hang on. Okay, all right, that's it for the episode, guys. We love you guys. Y'all be safe. We'll probably see you next week when we cover this weird show that nobody really gives a shit about called Firefly. All right, love you guys. Bye.
Jog on.